Why does China want to invade Taiwan? Watch till the end to find out. China is gearing up for a Taiwanese invasion in the latter half of this decade. Xi Jinping has even stated that he aims to capture Taiwan by 2027. For years, global powers have been calling China's bluff. But now, a Taiwanese invasion seems all but imminent. The US President Joe Biden has repeatedly iterated that the US would jump in to militarily defend Taiwan in case of a Chinese invasion. But why would the US risk a large-scale conflict with China? And why is China so hell-bent on invading Taiwan? Let's get into it. China has positioned itself as the biggest exporter of the world. As the top trade partner of close to 120 countries, the country relies on the sea routes to get its goods across the map. This is why the South China Sea is incredibly important. But there is a problem here. The Strait of Malacca. Most East Asian naval shipments have to cross this choke point to get in and out of the region. And there are all these Eastern Asian players sitting to capitalize on it. Over the years, China has not gotten along with its neighbors and has even tried to bully others to ensure clear shipping lanes for its own goods. Taiwan, thus, holds great economic promise. It has a fairly advanced shipping infrastructure in place with pockets of high development, like the eastern port of Kaohsiung. It is also located near vital maritime routes and sea lanes that would allow China to strengthen its position in the South China Sea. But the other more crucial reason is Taiwan's strategic value. The US has employed military personnel and assets to an island chain to contain China. Taiwan is a major part of the first island chain, with every US government consistently increasing military funding over the years. The first chain would be reinforced by a second island chain. In this case, it is hard for China, the second biggest global economy, to not feel cornered. The Chinese would want to foil us plans to contain them, and they would want to do it swiftly and in one go. Given all of us' attempts to refrain China from capturing Taiwan, it might come as a surprise to you that the US does not even acknowledge Taiwan as a sovereign nation. In fact, nor does the United Nations. Only 11 countries recognize Taiwan a sovereign state. So why is the US so stubborn about defending Taiwan? The simple answer is economic interest. The US was initially skeptical of the Chinese plans of a Taiwanese invasion because of the Silicon Shield. Taiwan's TSMC has been the global center of microchip manufacturing for quite a long time. Producing nearly half of the world's supply, their monopoly has kept China at bay. After all, a lot of China's own manufacturing depends on microchips. But after COVID-19 disrupted supply chains across the planet, major business felt the burn. For instance, Volkswagen, Ford, Toyota, and other automotive manufacturers all suffered from microchip shortages. In the following years, business have tried to reduce dependency on Taiwan by delinking some of their supply. Microchip manufacturing is one of the hardest industries in the world, and the rand alone takes years, if not decades. Since 2019, China has been trying to stake its claim in the world of chips as well. In fact, China has been offering sky-high salaries to a lot of Taiwanese engineers to make use of their expertise. With the Silicon Shield winding down, Taiwan is losing its sense of security. And an invasion would only help further China's stake in the microchip and electronic industries of Taiwan. The third part of the equation is historical. The Chinese civil conflicts in the earlier part of the 20th century pit the nationalist Kuomintang, or KMT, against the Communist Party of China, or CPC. By 1949, the Japanese had lost control of Taiwan and the communists were gaining ground in mainland China. The KMT leadership then retreated to Taiwan and established the Republic of China, or ROC. Ever since, the PRC in China and ROC in Taiwan have insisted on their right to rule the entirety of China. In 1955, the US made a defense pact with the Taiwanese ROC to protect it in case of an assault. The US even stationed nuclear warheads in Taiwan but ended up removing them in 1974. But in 1979, in an attempt to covet Chinese favor against the Soviets, they revoked their defense treaty with ROC. After the collapse of the Soviet Union, the US's position changed once again. During the Third Taiwanese Crisis of 1995 to 1996, they sent reinforcements to defend against Chinese aggression. Lately, China has taken a firm stance on foreign relations with Taiwan. If a country has relations with Taiwan, it would not be diplomatically engaged with China. By accepting Taiwan as a sovereign state, the US would be losing out on billions in business with China. However, the US decided to reduce its dependency on Chinese products with Trump tariffs. The Chinese, on the other hand, are not concerned with US policies, other than the ones that concern their part of the world. They despise US influence in the South China Sea as it could interfere with their economy. Imagine vessels not reaching China on time and affecting the energy needs of the entire country. So then, it becomes not only a matter of national pride and unity, but also of national interest. While securing Taiwan is a key part of the PRC's One China principle, it is also strategically and economically imperative. Strategically, because it counters US influence in the South China Sea, and economically, because Taiwan's key ports allow them greater flexibility on their naval routes. As China wrestles away the top minds of the Taiwanese microchip industry, it is chipping away at the silicon shield. It is knocking at the door, and soon it will want to kick the door down and barge in. How will the world respond? Will China's neighbors cut it off from the Strait of Malacca? Would there be a slew of international sanctions like in the case of Russia? Would there be direct military intervention by the US and its allies? All of this remains to be seen. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and stay with us for more content